He's not here.
Hello. He isn't, no. Hello. I love how Sly, because you collabed with me recently, no, the Cyberpunk game. Because the Cyberpunk game, Sly, you're already here, your reactive is set up, ready to go. You're sitting on top of my tankard. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Tale from the Roughworks Tavern. Today, we're telling stories of mistaken identities and long-lost love.
And come.
And come! Welcome!
Light gun, give it to you.
Thank you, Undyne. As always, I'm setting up everybody's future text as well as the Sirenscape right now. So thank you guys so much for coming. And you know what? Why don't all of the players on Blood on the Sand, Sly, you know what's coming, don't you? You know what's about to happen?
Didn't you make a joke about this is what DMs do when they don't, and when they're not prepared?
Did I make a joke about that? That doesn't sound like me.
You did.
Did I? Oh, well, why don't all of our players introduce themselves? Starting with who spoke first in response to my question, Sly. And make it a long one, Sly, at least a minute. I'm counting.
Hi, everyone.
You can't just talk slower, that's cheating.
I am Slime.
Is it? You never specified the terms of this arrangement.
See, I can also trick Undyne, and that makes us take longer, too.
Yeah, that's right. Undyne, you're now in charge of your introduction. Go ahead, Undyne, introduce yourself.
Do I have to do it in the same long way that, huh? Okay.
No, do it in a way that sets the standard for everybody else, okay?
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, and then you're gonna decide who goes next too.
I am Undyne. I'm a Siren Vtuber.
Sly, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'd like to stop what I thought of right now with the Ulu voice.
Please continue.
Wait, no, I set the tone though, so you gotta do it, man.
Carry on,
bad
Undyne.
news for you.
Carry on, Undyne. Go ahead and finish your introduction. Just get me through it as fast as possible.
I'm a VTuber. Hey, what's up? I'm a siren. I'm debuting on the 6th of May. Yeah.
Haven't you been streaming for like more than a year?
The new model.
Yeah.
Your new model with the
I
PNG there?
been.
Oh my lord. Sarah and you always have the same matching PNGs. It's so cute.
Oh, hell fucking yeah. But look at Sarah's updated picture. It's perfect. You should also put her in front of me so my hair doesn't cover her beautiful face.
No, I want to eat it.
Oh, you want to eat it? Slurp it.
Is it like jelly?
No. That's Sly. You can take a bite out of him, not me.
No.
Yeah.
I'm at dinner.
Thank you, Luminous. Undyne, if you're done introducing yourself, it's your turn to introduce someone next.
Ooh, I mean, obviously it's got to be the MILF sucking my hair to my left.
All right,
So-
introduce Sarah. Yeah, introduce her, Undyne. Go ahead.
Right.
You're introducing them, Undyne. They're not introducing themselves.
I'm introducing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Sarah is the cringe queen of Twitch. She's lovely and Budamus. When are you using your new model? Have you just done it for like your ticker-tookers?
My ticker-tookers and my posts. TBD on a date.
TBD, baby. But she's lovely and really gross in like an endearing way. So if you want to hear like really absurd, really funny, unsettling, good stuff, go to Sarah's streams, please. Or just come here and watch her in our campaign. It's equally disturbing.
Okay, Undyne, who are you introducing next?
I want to squidge her cheeks always and forever. Oh my god, wait, no. Put Valentin's Furby on Rice's head, please. It was perfect. It was the buffest Furby I've ever seen in my whole life. The little demented Furby boy is none other than our own Valentin, who needs a leg up on the competition. So
Wait.
on Rice's shoulders.
Valentin gets second billing over Sly? Are you kidding me?
Sly
For you?
introduced himself at the beginning.
Okay, carry on.
All right. Valentin is the gunslinger of the party. He's got wit, he's got brains, he's Swedish, and he denies his Blahaj heritage. He's sitting on Rise's face, which is what you can expect from every boys' night in the campaign. Boys' night! Rice is our wizard. He does some Final Fantasy streams and things similar to that genre, I believe. He's Australian? What other facts?
Wow.
Whoa!
What?
Can't believe you would call me Australian.
Oh, is he not? I thought you were. We've never talked about where you live.
He's a Kiwi.
Oh!
Sly knows.
Wait, he's what?
He's
A flute.
Kiwi.
Did you say he's a cutie?
A Kiwi.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
obviously
a
he's
cutie.
a cutie. Look at
Understood.
him.
Cutie. Yes,
Cutie.
cutie.
Yeah. He comes from the land of cutie.
Look, the easiest way to explain it is sheep, not koalas.
Oh, are you New Zealander?
Boom!
Yeah.
Boom!
Have you been
Mentioning
to-
sheep! I knew she'd get it!
It's funny
Liz,
because Australia
what-
has more sheep than New Zealand.
I know, but all I can think of is woolly pigs in New Zealand. I met someone in Wales once who was like, we call them woolly pigs back home. So I just associated it with New Zealand in my brain now.
I also think it's
have
just
you been to Mount Doom? Tell me.
I also think
I used
it's...
to grow up by Hobbiton.
Did you like pee your pants in excitement every time you walked by?
No, because it was like right there every day of my life. I was like born next to it, basically.
Wasted on you. Wasted. God fucking damn it, I'm so angry. Sly's our gelatinous boy. He's good and he's sassy. He's the only mature one here. And sometimes he's not mature, but he's the voice of reason despite being a fucking buffoon in the game with a very low engine whiz.
All right,
River,
Undyne.
our bard, our
Yeah.
dancer, our
Complimented
muse,
and
our
insulted.
resident horny boy. What?
Horny boy. No, Undyne.
Yeah.
Introduce me proper and know that everything I don't like adds another
sorry.
challenge rating to any encounters today.
What do you mean? Okay, he's our resident horny man.
That's
And,
blackmail.
Our
Blackmail.
beloved Dio.
Send the
And-
Pinkertons.
And I can blackmail you
And-
all. I'm in charge of this campaign. What are you gonna do about
And
it?
what? Oh, you want me to say more nice things about you? Is that what's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, he has. If you want to see his PP, it's in a museum in America.
What?
It's at an art college in America, but yes.
Well, that's close enough. All right.
Yeah, Sarah, if you have the 18 plus roll on my channel and you scroll up, fuck it, I'll just post it back in the channel again at the end of the night. But you can see that there was a sculpture of my dick made. It was
Yep.
made. If you live in Richmond, Virginia, you can go and see it.
Nobody holds a candle to our bard's. I don't know, achievements.
We all need to have a group trip together to this penis sculpture.
Yep, I'm gonna sing "You're the Light of My Life" when I see it.
Listen, if I'm there, you don't need to go take a trip. You just can see the fucking inspiration if you ask nice enough. Regardless.
No. Am I setting that on fire too? We don't have our Stimkey Sweet Burb here yet, but she is coming. Valtria. It does ASMR and some video games with other people, but she is lovely and stinky and good.
Last time
Anyway.
on Blood on the Sand, all of you had returned to Nessus after your difficult negotiation and battle far in the deserts to the northwest of the Blood Sands and the city. You have been tasked with establishing a constabulary and delivering water and supplies. After returning some of its citizens, a grateful Nessus greeted you in some pretty interesting ways.
Eh?
With some confusion between the love triangle of Valentin, Lloyd, and Serrario. The party now prepare for their meeting with Phazin, son of the snake charmer, the patron that sent them out here in the first place. They also have several other things that they need to deal with before they can start taking a series of downtime actions. First off, you need to decide what's going on with Nazir. Are you just leaving him in that... Sorry, Nahareen. Are you leaving him in that prison forever? Are you planning on acquitting him? Are you waiting for the snake charmer to make judgment? For Phazon to make judgment? You are the law here. You can decide what happens.
Deirdre is definitely going to let you all know that she's hanging back and letting you take the lead because she doesn't have a lot of stake in this, or she wasn't really closely involved, not to the extent that you guys were in his case. So I trust your judgment.
I also don't know this person.
Yeah,
You guys
literally don't.
bring up the conversation of Naharim around your table as you're eating the bread brought by Valentin that may have been for Lloyd.
It's shaped like hearts and phalluses.
I'm
Yeah.
sharing
So
it.
romantic.
Lloyd is sharing it. Have you decided on the name of your inn yet, Lloyd?
Have not.
The Nameless Inn, as you're having breakfast within it. Talk about what you think you should handle for the day. This is after your morning routines. Valentin, you've already finished your daily training. Things were purchased the last night, or at least set up. That has already happened, and now's the time for you guys to talk about your upcoming meeting with Phazon at the center of Nessus, as well as whatever else you're planning. Carry on, players. Go ahead.
I look over at. 1 second. Whew. Okay. Oh, I should probably load into the game first.
Yeah, I didn't see your character in there.
I look over
I
at
need to open the Sirenscape too.
Sir Buckethead. I look over at Serario. I look over at the last one. DD.
The last one.
The last one.
Look, my brain's in a bit of trouble.
Oh my god.
So, I look over at the three of them. And then I look over at Waltria, who's, staring off in the distance. And I look over at Lloyd.
Who's Vulture?
Oh, sorry. What's her face? And
Xandra.
the blue
The
haired
second
one.
to last one.
Sonic.
Really mean.
Huh? I'm just saying what pops into my head first.
He sounds like he has a head cold. Be kind.
Where were I? Oh, right. And I look over. I just shake my head looking at all of them, and I turn over to Lloyd. I suppose it's just you and me. You have any stake in this, then?
You seem pretty close to him on that skiff. Do you have any idea what you want to do with him? I'm willing to follow your lead.
So what you're telling me is I'm the only one with a stake in this. I don't know. The man definitely endangered a lot of innocent people. But he did it because he thought it was the only way to protect his own family, one way or the other. So, I don't know. I feel like the best way to punish him in this case would be to put him to work to help rebuild the town here so that he can help some innocent people that are not connected to him in any shape or form. And then once that's done, I suppose, exile. from the town, unless Mr. Prince Boy has any other ideas.
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but getting him to do something positive is much more use, I think, than just throwing someone away and keeping them locked up. If he can do some good, then at least he'll have some use, you know?
We also did lose a pack animal. Could always just do.
Are you suggesting to use him as our new pack animal?
Yes, I would like to ride him into the sunset. No, of course I'm talking
She
about.
gives you a look and looks between you and Lloyd to the recent confusion. It's like,
Obviously, I'm talking about having him carry our gear, perhaps cook our food, and eventually maybe send him back home. But I don't know. It all really depends on what. Oh my god! My head cloud today is head fog. What? Whatever.
Words.
What's his name? I need to fucking get into the game. I still haven't fucking opened it up.
Whose name are you looking for, Valentin?
the guy in
Prince
question,
boy.
I think that we're talking
Prince
about.
boy,
Phazon.
Jason. Oh god.
Are you
Sorry.
okay? Oh,
I'm sick. We've gone on with this.
Sick of your bullshit.
You're welcome, by the way, Sarah. What I just sent you.
Talked about this on stream, actually.
You actually talked about that image or just that concept?
That concept.
Oh my god. Well, you're welcome. Now you've got more conversation topics.
Oh god.
It's too cursed for me to put in the blood on the sand chat for you guys. You don't want to see this.
Too cursed for me.
So I suppose the only thing we really can do is just turn over and have a chat with Face and see what we do. Anyone else have any pressing matters to need to attend to?
Nothing huge for me. I'm unfamiliar with this town, though.
I am very appreciative of everyone's input.
I'm doing my best here. I think he'd be better served helping the people here than carrying around our shit.
Serario
Yeah.
seems to be more occupied with something else. Serario, at this table where everyone's talking about moralistic quandaries, what are you doing? What's your facial expression? Everyone is here. Lloyd, Valentin, Buckethead, Dee Dee.
Savario kind of doesn't really understand what they're talking about, so she's just kind of like looking at the bread, looking back and forth at like Valentin and Lloyd, and then slowly grabs the bread and starts like sniffing it and thinks if she should really eat it. She's slowly eating it and just like watching you guys talk.
Roll me a Constitution save, Serario.
Hold it, I'm getting it.
I never said the bread wasn't poisoned.
Ah, good. Wait, how do you do that?
So on your character sheet, on the right
Yeah.
side, you should see where it says Constitution. Saving throw.
oh my god. The
I
girl that
made
made
it.
the bread knew Serario was into
Yeah.
Lloyd and is now making a targeted poison just for her.
Yeah,
Wait,
maybe.
I'm so looking for it, but just ignore me.
It only affects Asimara.
Yeah, I haven't heard that Zandra or Dee Dee have tried the bread yet.
D is not in the ASMR.
Where is the stupid thing?
Who was the third ASMR in this group?
There wasn't.
There's only two.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Dee was just also from Rebeos.
The same place.
Nah, you're counting each of Zandra's sides.
Yes, Zandra's multiple personalities all count for a different person in my brain.
Oh god.
Serario, you do not feel any different eating the bread.
I'm literally like a walking poison.
Yeah, walking fart cloud. That's our farty girl.
May have some worse gas than normal later on.
Oh no, turns out she knew that Serario was gluten intolerant.
It might not be for Serario though. It could be for Lloyd. And we don't know if it's poisoned or if River's just being an ass.
I ate the bread.
It's definitely not poisoned.
Did Lloyd say he ate the bread?
Yeah,
Yep,
Lloyd said he took
I ate the bread.
The only way to make it poison is by me saying it's definitely not poisoned.
Oh god.
I will also eat a piece of bread as you see it slowly disappear under the visor.
With no crunching
How
sounds, it just
fast does
slowly
your
gets
body,
smaller
like,
and
absorb it?
smaller and smaller.
Yep, it just kind of gets slurped in very slowly.
Yeah, like, is it just like a slow-mo just pushing this loaf of bread into your face?
It's probably
It
a
slowly
disturbing
submerges it.
sound.
How dare you, Sarah, post what I sent you in private into the Blood on the Sands group? How fucking dare you? I sent you that in
Hey,
private just for you.
Jine said she wanted to see it, and you said I can't do that, and I said, but I can, and you didn't say anything.
It was in private for you to use as a meme later on.
Is that? Oh, I gotta share you something truly
What?
private. So
That's-
you understand what private is?
That's so
Simon
mine.
sounding. He's got a steak. Oh god. Okay.
Val's coming later on. Thank you, Donnie. Everyone's so excited for Valtria to be here. We're very excited for her to arrive as well.
Everyone's
She
everyone's
might have a
just
guest with her.
everyone's just waiting. Why the fuck would you say that? Why would you spoil that before?
I didn't say who.
Any-
Wait, what?
Anyway,
I didn't know.
Is it
I
even
could've got-
confirmed?
it's look. Here's the thing. Just ignore him. He's just a slime.
Just ignore.
He's just a little slime.
That's for you, Valentin.
Thank you.
Carry on with your chat, guys.
Okay.
You
Well,
gotta talk
you,
about anything important that you might need to talk about Phazon. It's always good to come into these things with a plan. As the Stolen Valor group found out recently when they went into a major talk and negotiation with no idea what any of each other wanted.
I'm afraid I
Why
don't know who this Phazon is.
I think we've
barely
already
know.
established that no one here gives a shit.
I never said I don't give a shit. I just here don't know anyone.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So
The
what
slime
are
is
you?
malfunctioning and robotic.
Okay,
Uh,
let's
Bite me.
let's try to rewind them, and let me weave you a tale. Phazon,
Valentin starts telling a story for the benefit of Serario and Sir Buckethead, who have not
Jesus fucking
been
Christ.
part of the party since the beginning.
Yes, thank you, narrator.
You're welcome.
That was really helpful.
You're
I'm
welcome.
I'm so glad you explained to the crowd what's about to happen. That's literally like someone going, "Hey, here's a flashback to something that happened 5 seconds ago." Of course, that's what I'm about to do.
You're welcome,
Donkey.
humble player. And you know what? For being so grateful of my narration, gain an inspiration.
What? We have to be assholes to you? Is that how we get it now?
No, but by him taking it, it means that he was in fact grateful. Carry on, Valentin.
I'm grateful for the inspiration.
You're welcome. Now
Lord
carry on with your
dickhead.
explanation.
So, Phazon is the best friend of. No, the other way around. Naharim. No, wait. Yes. Naharim is the best friend of Faison. Wow, I've butchered this already.
Would the humble player like any help from the narrator, or are you comfortable on your own? Shall
No, let him keep going.
the narrator assist, or are you okay?
Are you sure it wasn't the other way around?
Yes. No. Wait. Yes. No. Yes. Wait.
Carry on, Valentin.
I love you, Valentin. You got this. You can do it, buddy.
Oh, I'm sulking now.
Silence speaks loudly.
All right. In that case, Sarah, if Valentin can't, you'll need to give the recap from the whole campaign. Go ahead.
He wasn't even
I was a blanket, and then I came alive.
Excellent
That's
recap.
the recap.
Valentin,
All you need to know.
do you go ahead unless you need the humble narrator to do it.
Humble.
There isn't one.
You're not wrong.
So, the best friend of our Mr. Prince Boy, the one that we're about to go talk to, he came with us on this journey, together with us on a skiff. And one of the main things that you're not allowed to do, for obvious security reasons, is, interact with the blood sand somehow. You were not supposed to pee or shit in it, or, get wounded in it so that blood drops into it. Because there are things in the blood sands that are extremely dangerous. And so when we were going on this journey, we were taking precautions to make sure that we weren't getting ourselves into a more dangerous situation than we needed to be in. But the best friend of our Mr. Prince Boy, he had been paid by some unknown party, one that opposes Mr. Prince Boy's father, to ensure that he met his demise here in the Blood Sands. And so, while we were traveling, he cut his hand and let blood drip into the blood sand, while he also made sure to spill water over the side as much as possible. All for the sake of making sure that his best friend died, endangering every passenger on the skiff in the process. After subduing him, we have yet to deliver some sort of judgment upon him. Jesus. 1 second. Faison, who is the wait.
Faison is the son of the snake charmer.
Yeah. No, I just didn't understand my own note that I wrote. Anyway, Faison is the son of the snake charmer who we were hired to
What's
from
up?
the beginning. Oh boy.
Val, hi! We've been stalling.
Oh.
Valentin's giving a recap. Carry on, Valentin.
One
He's
that we
giving a
actually
recap
did meet.
for Serario and Sir Buckethead in
Yeah.
character, because they weren't here. So if you guys have any questions in character, feel free to interrupt and ask Valentin what he means by it.
Technically, it's also me, because even though my character was with the party, I was not. I didn't join them until we got to the tomb, and he was already being.
Oh, that's true. You never
Found?
met the snake charmer. That's right.
No, I did not.
Carry on.
Anyway, we were hired by the snake charmer to establish a constabulatory here in what's this place called again?
Nessus.
Nessus. So someone was opposing his father and wanted him dead. So Faison did not seem too thrilled about letting his former friend live, but we staved off his hand for now. Although who knows what's happened since we last saw them. We told the mercenaries who came with us to keep an eye on them, make sure they didn't do anything foolish. And now I suppose it's up to us to talk to them, to figure out what to do in the future. And so that's why I'm trying to gauge what everyone's opinion about it is. And when I say what your opinion about it is, I'm not saying please don't give me your non-opinion. I'm saying, are you for or against the idea of letting him face the punishment of his crimes, or would you just rather set him free, let him be on his way, or should he work for the constabulary here for the moment? Like, let's try to have some semblance of a plan, or at least an idea what everyone's heads and morals are at this point.
Who do you call on first, Valentin, then? It sounds like you're trying to call a vote in character. The person seated nearest to you is Zandra. Would you like to ask her opinion on the vote?
I'm still getting into the game, really.
You're totally fine. This is just a vote on...
No.
You remember the whole drama between Naharim and Faison about Naharim trying to kill him?
Yeah.
Your guys are as a group trying to decide what you are going to advise Faison to do right now.
Perfect.
So, sadly, because I'm looking at the party sheet, you're directly beside him.
That's fine.
What do you
I'm
want
getting
to...
it. I'm almost there.
What do you vote?
I wasn't gonna ask her anyway.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. Who do you look for at the table then first, Valentin?
Well, because I see that... because I'm still role-playing, River, even though you might have forgotten that we're doing that right now.
I just said that she was seated beside you.
Okay, I was still getting to the point that I was getting at. But, you as the narrator, you'd like to interject and start asking me questions that I am already in the process of answering without you asking me them.
All right,
So
you know what?
How about you take a
me.
back seat, settle down, take a deep breath.
Excuse me.
Just take another,
I'm gonna take
another
a few.
swig
No,
of
excuse
your
me.
alcohol.
Excuse
and
me.
then-
I will take a few more bites out of my brick of cheese, and you can do what you're doing. Oh.
Careful, that might bite you back later.
Yeah, you never know if it's a mimic, cheese mimic.
Carry on, Valentin. Carry on. I'm just gonna.
Seeing
Oh.
as Zandra is still sort of shaking awake or getting over the distant look in her eyes, I turn to Lloyd, who is the one that have been through most of these travels. Jesus fucking Christ, you just can't stand someone talking more than you, can you?
What? I'm eating! What do you want from me?
This man literally never makes a sound when he eats normally, and then suddenly now he just goes...
Are you high? I growl when I eat. Lulu, the other day, I was eating on stream with her, and Lulu went, "Did you just growl while you were eating that?" I went, "Yeah, sorry. I make noises when I eat, you fucking animal." Fine, okay, Jesus.
Please.
I think it's more animals that make the sound when they're eating, not humans.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to call me an animal?
Lloyd. I turned to Lloyd, who's been with me through most of these travels, and so I turned for him for his wisdom and intellect. And I whispered to him softly, "Boys' night."
Remember that night we were alone together?
And he said not a word to me.
When we were out on the blood sands, if you hadn't intervened, I intended to throw him overboard.
Okay.
So, I'm definitely feel he should have some form of punishment. He's probably not deserving of death, but
I agree that I think there are more useful ways to make him answer for his crimes. Because clearly he's done several things that have endangered far more people than his stupid vendetta had set him out to do. So,
Wow.
something needs to be done. And if we can... if we can get him to do that, to get him to do something that'll actually help other people. Sorry, I got distracted by a stupid message about cheese. If we could get him to do something that actually helps the greater good, maybe it'll help to, I don't know, even the scales as far as all the hurt he did.
No.
the town does need repairs, so there is some manual labor available.
Everybody, sorry. Narration.
Serra-
I'm sorry, Valentin.
Serrario.
Carry on.
Serrario,
Oh.
do you have any thoughts after hearing what I was talking about?
I know I wasn't there during everything, but hearing your guys' story, I don't think he should just walk away like freely. So, I mean, I think I agree, like with Deidre, like paying it back. These people need help. Maybe he needs to prove it to them.
And what about you? What about you, Sir Buckethead? You have been around the least, quite literally. But you might have some sort of... This might help shape your consciousness and morals.
Were any lives lost as a result of his actions?
Yep.
Yes.
The guy that you and Valentin threw overboard, for instance.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm about to answer, you just go,
Please
yep.
calm down.
I don't understand why he keeps on interrupting.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going. Fuck, I'll just keep eating my cheese. Oh.
There were a couple of deaths that were originally not directly caused by him, but due to us having to outrun a behemoth of a beast, there were some casualties. There were also some further casualties when we were trying to take shelter, as we were under raid by a group of a three-key pirate ship. So it is possible, as we were being under siege, that blood would have been spilled regardless, and so this behemoth would have appeared otherwise, and we would have been less ready for it then. So, in some ways, by learning about this beast ahead of time, we might have been able to prepare better where when we were facing the Three Kings pirates, and so lives inadvertently also were saved. He didn't directly kill anyone, though.
Regardless, his actions led to the death of others. I feel he needs to face some form of punishment.
Yes, I
Agreed.
agree. And I hope that he feels the same. He did when I first spoke to him, and then afterwards, when we spoke the next time, he felt less persuaded by the idea. But we'll see. We'll take it. Sorry. So, what about you, Sandra?
Sorry. Oh, something about. Heard something about. A call. Hello, motherfuckers? Someone named Mora wanted me to say hello.
Oh, no.
I don't know where you got this from. Sorry.
But however, I'm not quite sure about my opinion on the matter. I'm not. To be honest, I want to take pity on him, but after all the shit he went through, but he does need to face some consequences. Walking free is not really an option. I think manual labour would be do him some good, wouldn't it?
No, Donnie. This was very different.
What?
Sorry, I was responding to Donnie in chat.
Oh.
No, wow, I started stealing your accent. Now, obviously.
Which is really funny because her accent is just stealing Rye's accent.
Stealing voice. Does he speak British? I thought he was from down further south.
I feel like I'm having an aneurysm.
No, Rye's British, Sandra.
Oh, he's British.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that. Sorry, Roy.
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. for me. Yeah, British.
So, let's go with the consensus that one way or the other he should face some sort of punishment for his crimes, but perhaps some leniency needs to be held in regards to what sort of punishment needs to be held just for the sake of rebuilding. Right, okay. Anyone else have any thoughts they would like to offer up before we leave?
No.
Very well. Thank you everyone for your input.
We've done this bit before. I told you what I thought. If I think employing him in the city will probably be more helpful than anything else, but first and foremost, we've got to figure out what they actually need. We don't want to just throw some guy at him and say, here, he's your prisoner, use him for labor. You know? We need to have some kind of other plan, but we don't know what's going on in the city right now. And it sounds like you haven't been here in some time and things have changed.
Maybe
So
we can
it's
keep
time
him.
for us to see.
Sorry, go ahead. Don't mean to interrupt you, love. Continue on.
No problem. I don't believe we've been acquainted. I don't know if that's the proper way to say it, but I'm
Don't worry, we can get to that later. We'll get to that later.
All right. She looks unsettled. Why don't we ask around, see what's going on, what they actually need, and figure out whether or not he is of use here. If he's not, we come up with something else.
Here we go. That might be something that we bring to the meeting with.
In a minute. I was also thinking.
What's going on over there?
I was also thinking maybe we could keep a direct eye on the things. Is there any way that maybe we can keep a direct eye on his work? Perhaps we put him to work ourselves. Maybe we apply the punishments as we see fit. Manual labor, jobs, tasks. That if he doesn't do, then we turn him over to the authorities for jail time or things like that. Whereas like this is the lighter sentence, and if he's on good behavior, then we deal with it from there. But if he acts poorly or doesn't do the things he needs to do to learn his lesson, then we turn him over. Does that make sense?
Right.
I just don't want to be on babysitting duty for this guy. The axe beak did enough damage on its own. He's a much more dangerous pack mule, as it were. So it'd be better to have him in a controlled environment.
I
want
too
some other
would.
sort of vendetta.
I too would not like the idea of having him around ourselves. He needs to come to terms with what he did, together with the person he did it against, one way or the other. Anyway, as long as we have some sort of idea going into a meeting, then we can better adjust for how to deal with Faison. Right, let's finish up and we'll head off. I finish off. Wait, not like that. I finish my bread.
I'll bet you finish off, lad.
Yeah. Boys,
The party members stood around awkwardly, waiting for the narrate to narrate what happens next. But Valentin seemed to know exactly what would happen next, and so spoke about it beforehand.
I'll just leave for tonight.
My
favorite.
All right. You all head through the streets of Nessus.
I can't be here for this D&D session, lads. I'm full of joys. I can't be sitting for too long.
I don't know what you're talking about, Undyne. You guys head through the streets of Nessus.
Undyne?
Yeah, in Twitch chat.
Oh.
You guys head through the streets of Nessus towards the central house. Not really certain what to call it. It used to be the Burgomaster's house, but now it's where Faison has made his base of operations. Captain Majida is there to meet you all. She greets you cordially. Good afternoon. I trust that your time off was fruitful.
I suppose. Any news?
Lord Faison has been very eager to meet with you all. Should I assume that by you being all present here, I am able to fetch him now?
Yeah, it'd be lovely. You would catch him for us. We'd love to have a chat with him. It's a bit of time.
Excellent. And she takes a few steps and then she pauses and she says, turning around, Faison has become very set in a few decisions. Are you certain you're ready to talk to him now? Have you discussed everything that he might want to speak with about you?
I only know what he did in the Blood Sands with you.
Well,
I don't.
How set in his ways? How set in his ways could he be? Why don't we just loosen him up with a couple shots of whiskey and he'd be right on, yeah? You can talk him out of anything, I think.
I'm sorry, has your accent changed?
Yeah, love, don't worry about it too much. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it happens. Just go with it. I mean, what kind of insight do you have as far as what we might need to talk with him about? I'm quite shady on the details, and 2 of our members are unfamiliar. One of them doesn't talk much. The other is wine-addled, and one of them is trying out a new accent today, so we could use all the help we could get.
He's
Must be
been...
love him in a much better position as I am now than I would have been if I would have been without the accent. Don't worry.
He's
Oh,
come
what,
to
she's
a
getting-
decision that he specifically referenced Valentin's actions regarding the refugees, potentially to our north.
Oh boy.
What would
In
those be, friend?
addition, he's become quite certain about the direction he wants to take the constabulary in, but he's very uncertain on what to do with Naharim.
Okay. Do you have any sort of insights into what he's planning for the constabulary?
The constabulary, he's planning on turning over to the citizens themselves. Rather than a unified police force underneath the government head, Phazon is instead going to allow each district to police itself underneath a neighborhood sort of watch. Which isn't...
What's wrong with it?
It's not beneficial to what the Snake Charmer wanted out of us, which was to bring the entire region under control. The legions of the sands between us and the next town, Tendara. With only policing the districts, it doesn't set up an actual constabulary for the further areas. Technically, what his father wants is done, but not for the rule of what his father desired. And what he intends for the refugees is even worse.
How so?
Inspired by your words to him, Master Valentin, he intends to write his father an impassioned letter suing for citizenship for all of the refugees that may potentially be north of us.
Okay.
She seems like you should be more upset about that than you are. As you go, okay, she's like, oh, okay?
It's a lot to take in. It's a good thing you talked to us about this. We probably gonna need to talk about our positions on things and how we want to go.
Each one of those refugees that are brought in, who are too old to work, too injured to fight, or incapable of completing their 10 years of labor, would mean that an able-bodied citizen of Thanskaran, like Lloyd, would have to do 10 years of hard labor in order to secure the citizenship... 10 additional years of hard labor in order to secure the citizenship of someone who can no longer work.
Well, I'm not from Thanskaran, so I wouldn't know how it would work.
Everyone turns to Lloyd.
Right, Lloyd? Fill us in. How's this shit work, eh?
Do you need any refreshers, Lloyd?
Any
Simple
narration,
things.
perhaps?
When you come of age, to earn your citizenship, you have to complete 10 years of labor. And without that, you're not a citizen of the country.
And what rights do you get as a citizen versus a non-citizen? Like, what rights do you have over me, someone who's not a citizen?
The right to buy land for one of them. Operate a business.
Do you need any help here, Lloyd?
Yeah, I probably need help with the exact list.
As he said, right to own land. You cannot own a house. You cannot own any property. The right to rent outside of your employer. If you're not a citizen, you cannot rent
Shit.
any sort of buildings or anything like that. If you're employed by someone, they provide you living for that 10 years. The right to sell any sort of product. You can purchase things. You're not allowed to buy things sell things as a non-citizen. Adventurers and some other people are given leeway into that, but normal people who, are just working class aren't. The rights to any sort of legal protection without citizenship and without a patron that you're doing your 10 years under. Someone could point at you on the street and claim that you murdered their spouse, and you're not allowed a lawyer. You have to defend yourself. The difference is literally between existing and not existing in Thanskaran.
So is there any middle ground where you can get what is it? Well, actually, I guess you should probably let me know about this. Does Rabios, where we're from, does it have things like visas and green card equivalents?
Oh god, no.
Things
Rabios is even worse than here. Rabios is if you're born with the stigmata or not.
You know what? So, just for the sake of clarity, the reason why
Can you buy your way into Thanskaran citizenship?
No. So, this is the reason why she's using this accent. She's switched to the personality that's got the intelligence, right? So, she wants to know if there's, I'm trying to see if, the knowledge that my character would have of any countries that have some sort of, temporary allowance for letting people in, or, maybe exceptions for people who are of a certain age, right? People who come into the country and they're already well past the age of being able to work 10 years for their citizenship, right? They're is there any sort of thing like that in any country, or
Aklis,
temporary
Aklis,
rights to living?
Aklis and the Yurtron dynasty, but those depend on combat merit in the past. On the continent of Bylon, Kadrin was the only country that would have allowed that sort of thing, the elderly who couldn't work anymore to immigrate into them, but Kadrin was destroyed 5 years ago. Swallowed up by the Underdark. Vanished. No contact with the people within it. If you want to learn about Kadrin, you can watch my Saturday game, Last Stand, which deals with people surviving in the Kadrin destruction. But
then
nowhere else really has a place on this continent for those who are infirm, elderly, who wouldn't be able to complete some sort of labor or hadn't completed it in the past. You can make passionate arguments to nobles and the royalty of certain nations. For instance, the kingdom of Aklis and the kingdom of Ostos. Someone could petition for people, but otherwise, there's the countries on this continent are as follows: the kingdom of Aklis, the kingdom of Ostos. Those two places are in constant war with each other due to a millennia-old grudge between the between the Elven Queen and the Human King, who's long dead. She's fighting against her descendants, basically. Their whole culture between the two of them is that Aklis is more human and short-lived lives that form mercenary companies and believe in glory and valor in combat, whereas Ostos is more about tradition and, your blood lineage is shit like that. What?
Sorry, I'm talking with Mora. We're trying to be quiet.
No, that's all good. Say hi to Mora! Mora, come back soon! We miss you in this game! We miss you in this game!
Oh, sorry, they miss you. They miss you here.
I miss
Here,
you too!
Here, you can talk to her now.
Come back and play with us sometime whenever you're free. The Yurtron dynasty is where Didi was likely from before Rabios. The dynasty is all about focusing on killing very specific kinds of monsters, where your last name is the monster you kill. Could be Mind Flayer, Owlbearer, or more. But that's how you gain citizenship there. Kadrin was very technologically advanced. Svelin, you guys have experienced the Svelish. I don't know if you want to send anyone out there. And then there are the United Provinces of Ajin Shu, which used to be a warring state that are now a series of United Provinces that their laws, their rules, their, creed, it changes every month right now based on the people who are in charge and the very volatile politics there. So there's not really anywhere that would consistently take on people who are past the working age.
Alright, how about this? This is just a suggestion. Perhaps we could make an argument. Probably not me, I'm not the most...
Whoa, Majida says.
Like, talky type.
The captain of the militia says, listen, you don't need to convince me of it. I've already given all my advice.
No, I'm not talking about you. Calm down, give me a minute. I'm just getting my thoughts out. I'm saying...
I'm sorry, this is your intelligent accent?
Do you got to insult me voice? Just because... Are you saying people who talk funny can't be smart, you dickhead, yeah? Well then if you talk funny and you can't be smart, then you should go fucking sit your ass down, because you talk like shit, alright? So fuck you, motherfucker.
Mora is clang, and thank you, chat, for saying hi to her. Remember, you can follow Mora here, along with the other members of Blood on the Sand.
I'm saying this in real life.
What's real life? Yeah, of course it's real life, motherfucker. What do you mean? This is all real life.
Anyway.
What kind of fantasy world you living in?
Oh boy. My favor is not dealing with this shit.
You think I chose this accent?
It might be.
You think I chose the area I grew up in with?
Is either currently drunk or is
He's got a fever.
He was sick.
He's very, very ill right now.
No, I'm saying Valentin, the character in the game, in correspondence with Valentin's actual fever.
No, I'm back. Valentin's also having a fever. He was up early in the morning training, and then they talked out, and so he's just sick.
Yeah. Deirdre gives you a pat on the back.
I'm gonna be rolling everything at disadvantage today.
Alright, as I was saying we probably get somebody else who's probably a bit better speaking. Sure, Valentin, you can do it, since you seem to be so particular about the voice. You can go ahead and do the explaining. I was just saying, maybe we make an argument that since we're in kind of an emergency situation for these refugees, we make it a temporary exception for anybody who's too old, too weak, too disabled to do the 10 years of labor, that they get kind of like a temporary, not citizenship, but something that's half there, something that gives them the right to be here, but maybe doesn't give them the right to own land, sort of thing like that. Gives them temporary partial rights, just enough that they can stay here. And it's not something permanent, it's only for people who are in an emergency, yes? But if they want citizen rights, if they want to be someone who gets to live here permanently, to own land, then they have to go through the 10 years. It'll be a great answer for all the old people, and then anybody who's still strong and fit to work, they don't get to have that. They have to do the 10 years, which I think is fair. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's a fair thing. Kind of like a visa for the old, or for those who can't do the work, but everybody else can get in and do the things that they need to do that will be beneficial to the country, and there'll be a good reason to let them in. Plus, if we give this temporary to the old and to the injured, it sets a good mood for all the immigrants moving here. They'll trust the country a bit more, and then their future generations, the ones that will stay here and live here, the future generations will want to be a part of the citizenship, and they'll want to do their 10 years of labor. Yeah? No? Anybody understand that? Do you want to explain it again?
Please don't explain it again.
Alright, I'm glad you understand. And she like sits down, pulls a bottle out of her bag that you didn't know she had, and pops it open and starts drinking.
Right. Anyway, perhaps we'll advise him on a different method than just straight up citizenship, so that he doesn't bring the ire of his father over him. Anything else we need to know about it?
So, there was one particular issue I guess we're going through with that plan. How about, Noharim? Do we want to force him to go any particular way? We're just gonna do the work punishments?
Well, Faison apparently doesn't know what he wants to do with him either, so maybe it's something that's up for discussion rather than we decide here and now. We don't even know if there's something that he can help with. Maybe he'll just be in the way. But maybe he'll be fine with sending Naharim to the refugees, and he'll sort of be their liaison somehow and work for them if we want to try to bring them into the fold, so to speak.
You think setting a pretty rich boy to take care of some refugees, man who's never known responsibility in his life, really, to take care of some people that have some of the highest needs? I'm not sure that's probably a solution. I don't think that's likely to lead to more issues, no?
Majida clears her throat. Whatever you all decide, do know that the decisions made here today will extend out for quite some time. And once things are put into action, it can be very difficult to divert, change, or cancel their course.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the way decisions always go. You never know how terribly they're gonna play out until you already set them on motion. It's like a train that you can't see around the next corner. You can only guess, but maybe the tracks aren't there. Maybe there's a sharp turn and you sent it going too quick. You never know. Maybe there's just a cart full of children on the tracks.
Wait, a quick question.
Yeah.
Are there trains?
In Cadron, there was rumor of rail lines, yeah.
Okay. So you've been to Cadron then?
What's that? Cadron. Yeah. I've been there. She takes another swig of the drink.
Oh boy. Well,
They got some really pretty ladies there.
we're not gonna get much further. Not just talking in circles about it. Let's just grab the bull by the horse and see what happens. Any objections?
No,
Anyone?
I think
No.
I'm right
No.
for it.
Right. Let's see what Faison wants.
You're all led to the streets of the seat of power in Nessus. You're not really certain you can call it a city hall. It's not incredibly grand. Perhaps a town hall or village center. Regardless, you're led through the building to a corner office. And on opening it up, Majida gestures you all through the doors into a messy, disorganized library/study looking sort of room with a desk in it, as well as a very energetic Phazin. More energetic than any of you saw him during your trip here to Nessus, where he was mostly traumatized or in fear most of the time. Now he's pacing the room, picking books off the walls and tossing them over his shoulder to the ground. quickly scanning the contents and almost paying no attention to you all before he heads back to his desk quickly to start scribbling on a piece of paper. Majida clears her throat while you're all in the doorway, and then quickly realizes she doesn't know how to address you all. Looks to Valentin and says, does your group have a name?
Oh shit, we didn't really talk about that much, did we?
Valentin and Company to speak with you, Master Phazon. Phazon looks up and says, oh, you're all here. Excellent. I was worried we'd lost you in the desert. I almost ordered Majida and Duskwalker to send a group after you immediately to make sure that you would return on time, but then I heard you had all returned yesterday, safe and sound. I asked Majida to send you here to me immediately, but you all needed time to rest. I've been working very hard. I've taken everything that you've said into account and into thought, and you're right. I'm in the wrong. I've been neglectful. I've been ignoring my privilege. The near-death experience that we all went through in the blood sands, it you can see he's near tears. It really... I need to do better.
Sense motive.
Go ahead. Insight. Insight in...
Really fucking fishy. Hang on.
Sure.
Let me sense your motive.
Yeah, sorry. Speaking in Pathfinder terms. 16.
He means what he says, Dee Dee. His experience and his time after being betrayed, everything that went on with Naharim, every monologue that you, and I remember Zandra went on a big monologue too, everything that Valentin did, everything that you all did, impacted Phazon in a scare him straight sort of vibe. Unfortunately, Dee Dee. Unfortunately. Much with scare them straight programs, normally things are okay in some sense of moderation, but completely cutting them out of your life forever can be, you know, pretty toxic and harming.
Yeah.
He's steering out of the skid too hard. He's gone entirely 180, and as such, his now desire to do good and to do right, without actively having any knowledge or understanding on how to do so, has driven him to a manic sort of energy right now, where any sort of idea that he comes up with that is good for the people, regardless of its effective or actually able to be implemented, isn't being taken into account. Meaning it's, I'm going to do what is moralistically good, regardless of if it's going to be good and successful in the long term.
Right. Its effectiveness.
He just wants to do good right now. With that roll as a -10, Zandra, you can tell that he seems, with a total, of 10, he seems very energetic, very, very enthusiastic, and like he has an abundance of energy right now. Something that was completely opposite from the last you saw him. I've already written a lot of policies for the town that takes almost all of the power away from me and my father and puts it back into the power of the people.
Wait. I'm glad that you've had a change of heart, but I think you're diving into this way too fast without thought or consideration as to whether or not these things are possible. Not that they're not good, but you have to be more realistic with your approach.
Horeskis once said that, who are we if not goodness trapped within bodies of evil?
And Deirdre once said that you need to calm the fuck down
Dee
and
Dee?
take a better assessment of the situation.
Dee, with your insight, Harescus is like an entry guide into philosophy. He's spent his weekend reading philosophy books and is super engaged with changing the world.
Instead of diving into your own personal philosophies, ask your people what they need. Don't just make a choice and a change because you think it's going to be good. Figure out what the people want and figure out the best way to implement it that will actually help them instead of trying to chase some sort of idea of a perfect society that you're trying to reach. It's not fair to them as your people to have to deal with you trying to be a hero.
What she's trying to say,
He seems taken aback by this, obviously.
what she's trying to say, Mason, is, no matter how good your ideas are, you need to also think about how logically implementable they are.
I don't think that
Tell
whether
me.
it's going
Tell
to be
me,
a
Faison. I have a question for you, Faison. You're saying that you want to take power away from your father and from you and give it back to the people.
the amount.
You think the people are better equipped to handle tough situations such as economics and political intrigue, how to deal when someone breaks the law? Not everyone grew up being able to have access to any sort of reading material so that they could study and become anything.
Cheskaya says that when man is tested, man will rise up to the moment.
When man is tested, they tend to kill each other.
Buckethead speaks up.
Yeah.
If you suddenly try to throw power back to them without any warning, in the middle of a crisis situation, it's going to do nothing. Cause chaos.
Valentin, Buckethead, Dee, the three of you have made extremely good points. Please, one of those three, roll a persuasion at advantage.
My persuasion.
Oh, I'm fucking
I have a-
muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
+6.
Hold on, guys. Valtria was muted. Val, would
I'm
you like
so
to
sorry.
contribute as well? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, by the way, Robin is the name of this personality. Robin steps forward and
Have you introduced yourself as Robin to anybody?
No, nobody knows her as Robin. I'm just saying, instead of saying Zondra walks forward, I'm letting you guys know. So Robin walks forward and having the bottle of liquor in her hand, she hands it out to him. It's like, would you like a sip? It help you think things through a little bit more slowly instead of jumping to the occasion, yeah? Nah, you don't want to drink? All right. And she puts his arm, tries to put an arm around his shoulder and listen here, mate. Listen here. All right, so.
He lets you.
No.
He's just staring at you like he doesn't have any idea what you're saying right now.
That's okay. If he doesn't yeah. Look here. All right, so you've lived your whole life without much responsibility, right? You've been having it easy. You've been living your life one way, right? And I get it. You want to take a switch. You want to have responsibility. You want to step up to the occasion, yeah? Remember all the shit you went through to get to the point where you wanted to make that decision, right? That allowed you to make a drastic switch in your whole perspective on life. That's not natural for people. That's not natural for societies. That's not natural for everyday people to go through such a drastic change in the way everything works.
Robin, he puts his hands on your shoulders. And he looks you in the eyes. I have no idea what you just said, but I will defend your right to say it.
Oh my god. Okay, who's rolling the thing, and can we get it over with so this Pratt doesn't have to talk anymore?
I've got a +6 if you guys want me to
Oh
roll it.
damn!
Zandra, you can
Robin
roll a
like
persuasion
turns around
as
and like
well.
grumbly like Robin turns around grumbly, takes a shot like from her whiskey, and just like walks back to the group and just like, hey, fucking goddamn excitement. You just
I
not
have-
there, hold on, just stand and like
I
kick
have-
something.
I have a +5 with the option to add a D8 to my roll.
It's a pretty
That's
big
what I
plus.
could be. Yeah, it worked out really well when I tried to intimidate her. And I rolled like a 10.
Up to you
I
guys.
mean, do they get any kind of bonus, or is it going to be at advantage?
It's already at advantage for whoever chooses to roll. And the options right now are Buckethead, Valentin, Didi, or Zandra. Born again philosopher is kind of a pain, chat says.
Fucking
Chat's,
hate it, no!
chat's so frustrated with Payson now. Do you guys
Born again
do you guys
philosopher.
do you guys hate him more when he was a fuckboy, or do you hate him more when he's a born again philosopher?
We'll just take you, River.
Born again philosopher is way more annoying.
Who's rolled persuasion?
Fuckboys are easy to deal with.
It sounds like it's
You just have him
between.
start like
Does with Valentin's +8 or a D8 to add to it? Does he get to pick that after the 2 results are rolled?
It's a good question, Valentin. Do you
advantage?
pick it after or before if you're activating that trait?
It's not a trait I'm activating. I'm just using one of my I'm using one of my what fighting style was it called? It's called one of my battle maneuvers.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And this is a battle of the tongue.
So do you roll? Well, the in context, the question there was: do you do it before you see the roll or after?
I am currently in the process of stalling for time, something that you are very used to doing.
Okay,
And-
if that's the case, you're stalling for time. Valtria, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Val. I do ASMR streams Monday, Friday, Sundays at 8 p.m. PST. I also do D&D every night here, or every Wednesday night here.
every night.
So every night.
I'm
wish
running
I do
D&D a lot more
every-
than I thought I
Every
was.
Wednesday night here, with these lovely, lovely peeps. And it'd be a pleasure to have you come on by, and I will serenade you with my sultry voice. That's it. Thanks.
What it says
Chip-
is when you
Chicken?
make a charisma persuasion check, you can expend 1 superiority die and add the superiority die to the ability check. So I'll just add it afterwards. It's sort of like all of my other battle maneuvers that I can choose to do it after I've hit something.
Okay, so you can do after you roll.
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay. Consider talking with the party.
Also, River, not a big deal, but I changed my reactive.
You did. Let me
Yeah,
readjust
she
it
is now
instead
tiny
of
burb.
being teeny tiny burb.
I mean, I don't mind being a teeny tiny duck.
My God, all of you have had time to change your reactors and stuff and get the MILF thing on. I'm
Well,
using my
I have a-
VTuber
I
model.
have
I don't
a-
know how to put that on.
I have a MILF thing too, but I also have a fever, so I don't want to expend the brain juice.
Waka, we haven't finished auditions for Hero Factory yet.
Hey, do you want to make the roll? You almost never make these rolls, Sly. So why don't you go ahead and do it?
Oh, sure, put the pressure on me.
You've got advantage.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm just clicking buttons. I'm also stalling while I click buttons.
River's eating a wing.
I'm trying to
Not
figure out
anymore.
which one is Valtria. Okay, so she is this one. Why the fuck?
He's
is
the
she-
one with the wings.
Yes, thank you.
Just stick
Honestly,
me
I should
behind
make
everyone.
a man I love.
Yeah.
I should
There
make a
we
man
go.
I love Faith's hat for myself when we play D&D.
22.
I got a MILF hat. I got a MILF hat already. I just don't have it, like, on my head right now because I'm on my VTuber model. I don't know how to put it on the. I'll put it on PNG later. I don't know what I'm doing. I have it though.
Also, River, looking at your
It's so
like
easy.
names for things in OBS, oh boy.
Oh yeah, you saw it
chaotic.
earlier. You saw it earlier. It's a fucking nightmare.
You just
I accidentally
Yeah.
showed my OBS when I was
YouTube
streaming.
Studio,
Use items.
bruh.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
That's,
You just drop it in the VTube Studio items folder, you nerd.
And you just put it on you.
Yeah.
You guys are talking to someone that's technologically inept. All
Yeah,
of
you're
those
right.
things you just said does not mean a single thing to him.
I walked an 85-year-old like today at taking a picture and sending him an email. I can walk you through this.
Why?
For
What's
work.
Your job?
I need to see a picture of a leg wound.
You are the most.
For her.
Happening.
What? This is what nurses do. What are you getting so confused about?
Yeah, show me your leg holes. I don't say that to my patients, but yes,
Show me your leg
Show me where you
holes.
pissed from.
Show me your leg holes, Sarah says while holding a knife to you.
And then they
Yes,
just
I
go, "Ma'am, this is a Wendy's."
Spicy
Hey.
chilies.
Carry on with what you were talking about, chat, and I'm still waiting on that roll. Oh wait, a
I
22
already rolled.
with a 22.
Everybody's talking over
Buckethead, deliver your final lines to this man.
Oh dear.
What's the last few words you say to him right now?
Damn it, you put me on the spot and now my brain is frozen.
You gotta cap off that persuasion with whatever you're trying to convince him to do, which is understand that he shouldn't only be focusing on philosophy books over, what actual reality is.
Focusing on philosophy and trying to... Ow, God, ow. Fuck. Please hold.
On to what?
Cat.
Hold
My
on,
cat just-
Undyne. I'm gonna hold on to
It's
Undyne.
the cat. What?
I'm holding.
Sorry, my cat just tried to jump in my lap and missed and just scratched the shit out of my leg.
Yeah, that's why I said cat, because I knew it was the cat. And the river was like, hold up, let him cook.
Quoting philosophy, trying to give back power to the people, just seems to be an effort to shirk your own responsibility.
As you say that, Phazon crumbles. The entirety of what he was saying and doing fades away as the spoiled son of a merchant prince collapses to all fours, sobbing immediately. I'm in over my head! I don't know what to do! I thought if I read all these books, I could just do what they said in the books! I thought I'd be able to figure it out! I don't know
I
what
pick him
to
up and I
do!
slap him across the face.
You walk up and you give him a good dive
And he's
across
like,
the face.
"Oh no, you're the second man besides my father who has slapped me."
I want to know,
Oh,
I'm
no.
wearing a gauntlet still.
Oh wow, you break his jaw.
I feel like I probably have enough control not to hit it that hard, but yeah, I am wearing a gauntlet.
Hey, oh,
If that doesn't knock him out of it, then I'll show him my face.
You want to knock him out? Sure. He is out cold, sprawled across the carpet of the study now. You have successfully knocked him out. He's out cold. He's snoozing.
Fuck it, Ted.
I mean, I didn't roll a brawl.
You said
Fuck
you
it,
wanted to
Ted.
knock him out, and if he wasn't, you'd show
I
him
said
your
I
face.
Slapped it at, no, I meant I was slapping him to knock some sense into
What
it.
is wrong with your microphone?
Sorry.
What? Not yours, his.
Not-
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I updated
Didn't know if you could
Discord
hear me
and
and more
Discord's
talking,
being
I'm sorry.
weird. I don't know.
I think it's cool.
Oh my god.
Y'all can go fuck yourselves.
Wait, what about me?
You two. Ah. Well, Sir Buckethead, he's out cold now. It's going to be difficult for us to.
I didn't think I hit it that hard.
I don't
I
know
look-
my own strength.
I'd look over at this gauntlet in hand. Did you know? Well, now you know, but most people are not built adventurers. they will get knocked out cold if you just give them a punch. And you're wearing our, steel gauntlets. Of course, that's gonna break them apart. Anyone got any healing that we can send his way?
Of course.
Buckethead slaps him against the mic.
You gonna slap some healing into him?
Sure.
Spank him on the butt because he's been a bad.
You gonna hit him on the head
prince.
or on the ass? Yeah, you gonna smack him on the head or the butt?
Smack him
In
on the
what
butt.
universe do either of you think I'm the
butt.
kind of person that's gonna do that?
God,
Maybe
I
it's
wish
like
I
a good
could.
game.
I wish I could understand him. Like between Valtria and Sly, Valtria is actually the more easy to understand person for me right now.
I honestly don't know.
Fine, I'm disabling all the voice shit that isn't working, and now you can just deal
Whoa!
with open mic bullshit.
It's so much better,
Yeah, now you can just deal with the open mic bullshit.
dude. There's
so
no
beautiful.
bullshit. You sound better than you ever have.
I
Wow,
was trying to get the noise gate to work so you wouldn't end up hearing background noise.
Hold
The
on.
fan.
Nobody say anything for a sec. What background noise?
noise.
There's
There's none right now. There was a leaf blower earlier.
Okay, we'll turn the leaf
It's-
blower on.
Okay, look.
Can we just
Dory,
get back to the
Everybody
game,
leave
please?
knower. Carry on.
All right, you give him a spank on the hip, and Phazon kind of comes to, and he looks at you and he says, "Hardship is sometimes only adversity in a thinly veiled cloth."
I hate
Please don't
this.
make me slap you again.
Now we can really hear him breathe.
Yeah, now we've got all of the ASMR parts.
anger
It's
breaths.
good. But he looks at you all and he says, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I don't know why my father would send me here in this situation. I don't know what's going on. I just want to do right now."
Then ask the people around you for help. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to make
Help me!
all
He
decisions.
says, clutching your leg. Help me! Help me! He like full on crawls over the carpet to you, clutches you entirely around your shin, shoulder to your knee, and is like, "Help me! Help me, please! 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 I can't fail again! I don't want this! Please help me!"
Failing is a
Don't-
part of life and a part of your philosophy.
"You told me not to listen to those!" He screams. "Who do I listen to?" And you watch as
Ask
he
the
reaches.
people
You
of your
language you
town.
can understand, you vapid buffoon.
He reaches
Have
away
you spoken
from
to any of the people of Nessus since ever?
Dustwalker, Majida, and all of you. Yes,
What about the townsfolk?
you're townsfolk, aren't you? He says, looking at Lloyd. I made you townsfolk. I
He's
gave you
literally
that
the
building.
only citizen in this room, other than you.
I gave you that building because everyone who owned it was dead and they had no relatives apart from distant ones. I gave you that building. I subverted their inheritance. You're a citizen of Nessus. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. He crawls over to you, Lloyd, and he looks up to you. Tell me what to do, please. Anything. I'll do anything that you want, citizen. Anything.
Oh my god.
Mario looks sussily over.
Maybe you can hold a vote with all of the townspeople to vote on ideas that they, as a whole town, agree on.
Okay. Okay, everybody could vote ideas. That's a good idea. Majida, he calls to the door. Go outside, inform the townsfolk. We'll be holding a vote for all of their ideas.
How about we do this instead? I go over and pick him up by the scruff of his neck and start walking out the door.
No, put me down. Put me down. As you come out,
No, we're
there's
gonna go visit the townsfolk.
there's a few mercenaries outside who, block your way. Majida says, "Can you put him down, please?"
I mean, I'm not carrying him, I'm escorting him.
You've got him by the scruff of his neck. I can literally see he's tucked his wrists and hands under his chest. And you all look, and he actually has tucked his hands and feet underneath his body as if he was, in fact, a naughty kitten being carried away. Whatever you decide it in there, then speak to the townsfolk. Nothing rash. If you want, I will move out of your way and let you continue dragging him outside. I don't care.
What I wanted to do was have him go meet the townsfolk and talk to them himself so he can see what they need in person.
Most of them are still grieving or have just recently been returned to the town thanks to your rescue operation. Do you truly think now is the time to begin knocking on their doors and soliciting ideas on how to change the town?
I hate to agree, but I too don't think this is the moment that he needs to be listening to the townsfolk immediately. But it's not because I don't want him to listen to the townsfolk. It's just, even if he did listen to the townsfolk in the state he's currently in, he wouldn't know how to implement everything at once anyway. He needs careful structuring.
Take him inside.
Careful.
Valentin's right. Take him back inside the room. I have an idea. Sir Buckethead, will you please take him back in the room?
Oh, fine.
As you guys drag him back in the room, Majida closes the doors behind you and says, I see you got him to abandon that philosophy crap.
Yep, good slap across the face, all it took.
I am of the opinion that we are not, as Valentin said, capable of soliciting the townsfolk right now. Valentin, you are right. He needs to show some strength, some spine, and some character. Otherwise, this town is doomed. When they recover, people will leave for greener pastures. Nessus will wither away to nothing, and the Snake Charmer will be very displeased with all of our work here. As such, I would propose a drastic measure. I would propose that your organization takes control of the town in secret while using this idiot as a puppet. Phaeton's like, yes, oh, I can be a puppet. I'll be a very good puppet. Yes, I would. I will be I will do whatever you say.
Be quiet.
Are you sure it's a good idea to give that kind of power to a group of who are mostly non-citizens?
I don't
Seems
think...
like a great idea to me.
I don't think she's telling us to do it permanently. I think this is more of a case of we'll do the research and
train him. Teach him.
And while we're doing that, he'll learn from us. Eventually he'll be okay on his own. Or by that time, the town might have stabilized to the point where they can find people inside the town that can help from a more administrative viewpoint. They have manpower at the current stage. They have people that are here, but without them knowing what or how to do things.
Valentin has the right of it. One of the main things that I had advised Phazin to do was to write his father for some citizens in search of needing to complete their 10 years of labor to come here and work here. Meaning that the Snake Charmer himself would act as a patron to those willing to work 10 years of hard labor out here in order to create new lives here. Phazin disagreed. He said that he would rather the Cadron refugees come here and acquire freedom as they had had their freedom stripped away from them. Doing so, however, would only Well, we don't know who are in the refugee camp to the north, but we do know that if your shadow organization you all dealt with visited them first, what's left behind isn't going to be exactly a working class population, will it?
Well, I suppose that means that we would have to pay them a visit, first of all.
No matter what, your next task, I believe, is visiting those refugees. However, we need to decide on a general policy before that, at this point.
I agree with.
Meaning, do we take the gamble on the refugees, give them citizenship, and then force the snake charmer to figure it out, as well as to, in that case, it would be more folks that need to complete their 10 years, instead having an additional 10 years stacked on top of it.
I have a question about your culture.
Of course.
What
What
specifically is the 10 years of labor? Is it 10 years that you need to be physically working, or is it a time period in which you put in a certain amount of hours working?
10 years from the date of which you are employed, and all of the jobs are the worst of the work that Thanskaran has to offer. Digging ditches, carrying water, caravan guard duty, working on the docks of sand skiffs across the blood sands. The idea is that citizens of Thanskaran all start at the very bottom before they can work their way into any sort of rights or responsibilities by the state. We are all very proud of our citizenship and having done our 10 years. Aren't we, Lloyd? She says, looking to you, Lloyd.
I give a nod.
It's
So
difficult and hard labor that's done for no pay and only through the patronage of whomever decides to take you on. Anyone who is infirm or elderly cannot take this on. Instead, they have to pay for someone to take their 10 years or find someone else willing to take their 10 years. There is no way to waive it. If we accept these people as citizens, it means the Snake Charmer will find young men and women in Thanskaran to work an additional 10 years on a top of what they need to do for their own citizenship.
What happens if a citizen that is currently doing their 10 years of labor, if they are sick for a day and cannot work?
Someone else has to pick up that day. One of their coworkers, one of their friends, one of their family, or it gets added on to their 10 years that they have to work off.
Well, so what happens if something were to happen to them before they've been able to work those labor days off?
They are buried with honor in the laborers' graves within Thanskaran.
So here's a question then. What would happen if we took on these refugees and they start their 10 years of labor, regardless of whether they actually can do them or not, and then they just don't finish them?
As if they died?
Yes.
If they died from the work. Thank you for the raid, Rhea. I'm in the middle of a very serious RP scene, so I will greet all of you and your raiders in a moment. In
All we
that
would
case,
do is that we just need to budget to make it look like these refugees that were unable to work, that became unable to work while doing their 10 years of labor.
they have to die. If they simply have a broken leg or are injured or something like that, then someone else has to pick up their years of labor.
You just said
you're right.
that
You could fudge the paperwork.
Yeah, you just also said that their days would just be added on top of their other days. So, basically, they could just be doing their 10 years of labor for the rest of their lives. Just
In
as a
theory,
temporary solution until...
unless their hours are audited. If someone were to... It's hard to explain. If some of the Sarina's government were to come out here, investigate them, check on the hiring conditions, and find out we had hired them with the intention of never completing their 10 years, rather than hiring a worker who could, it would reflect badly on us. But that's really unlikely. You're right, we could probably fudge a lot of the paperwork.
We could also...
What is the alternative here, though? Force them out?
They remain in the desert to survive underneath their own volition, as it has always been. Thank you for coming, Isel Nomura. Again, I'm gonna acknowledge all you guys really soon. Carry on, Sly.
We could also, issue some sort of emergency sort of labor for the refugees, because this town has just come under strife. As an excuse to bring them in.
It is possible, but again, if we don't take the refugees in, the Snake Charmer will hire young men and women of Thanskaran to come here and do their 10 years of labor. Meaning we're taking that opportunity away from them.
Don't we need all that manpower, though?
How many refugees are there?
We don't know.
We don't know. We would need to go see.
It's a gamble. But at this point, we need to decide on policy before we can see them. We don't have the time, the days for you to travel out there, check on them, bring them back, get them situated, census them, and the more paperwork we'd have to do.
What if Lloyd became the refugees' patron?
Everybody in the room turns to Lloyd. Rust Bucket, who followed you all in here. The cat sits on its haunches, looks up to Lloyd, tilts its head, and goes, meow. Lloyd, what if you had them all work at your inn? You would be their patron, and you'd be able to you'd be able to sign off on their 10 years of labor if you wanted a bunch of Cadron refugees working at your inn.
Boy, that's a pretty good idea. Plus, then we got the tavern up and running. I can get as many drinks as I want. This is a fantastic idea.
Is it, though? I mean, if we don't know how many people there are, there could be hundreds, thousands.
Exactly. Like,
we expand, we make this into a chain thing. It's only dozens of taverns all across the country. All run by refugees.
I think that, in the end, that would come down to us actually meeting them or not. I really appreciate you, Majida, saying that we need to come to an agreement on certain policies, but that is not a policy that we could just straight up ignore. If we just decide that, okay, we don't know however many refugees there are, so we're going to go ahead and grab a bunch of younger people from all over Thanskaran to take their 10 years of labor, without even speaking to the refugees and seeing what they could offer, then we are no better than the common bandit.
From the map, it's going to take you 3 days to reach the refugee camp, 3 days back, 6 days total. To get a message across the Blood Sands back to Thaskalis, we're looking at least another 2 weeks. That's a total of almost 26 days that no policy will be enacted. We can cut that down by 6 days by trying to send it out now. That doesn't even include the time that we would need to take the census. If you want to wait that long, we can try.
I don't
The
understand.
alternative would be making rash policy without actually knowing the situation.
And that would be a far more egregious
I'm just a
miscalculation.
mercenary. I'm just a mercenary. I focus on making decisions right away with what information I have. If the rest of you are more in tune with politics and you know that discretion may be the choice of the day here, I will follow you. Valentin, as
Very
you
well.
know, our mercenary company was contracted through the Snake Charmer to work with Phazon, but we take orders directly from you and your group. I am here to advise and to help. If
Right.
you want to wait, we can try.
Phazon,
Yes! Yes, that's me! I'm the puppet. I'll do whatever you say, Valentin.
what's happened to Naharim?
As you said, we've kept him locked in a basement.
Have you spoken to him?
I have not. I believe Dustwalker is making sure that he remains put and tending to his daily needs. Did I do good?
By the way,
Did
we are
I do
going
good?
to...
He says, looking to the rest of the group.
Good boy. Here's a treat. Throw a pretzel at him.
The pretzel hits him in the face, and he just kind of looks at it, and then he, like, lowers his face to the ground and eats the pretzel off of...
God damn it.
Without grabbing it?
Without grabbing that, he eats it like a dog, eating it off of the floor.
Good puppy.
If that's the case, we need to talk to Naharim as well. Because if we're going to go talk to these refugees, we're going to need to have some people that's still behind here tending to whatever needs the townspeople might need. My idea, as a temporary solution, while we're not here and, leading him by the hand, is that Naharim and Phazon are forced to work together to listen to the townspeople if they need it.
Phazon looks up at you, and there's still bits of pretzel and dirt from him eating it off of the floor around his mouth. He says, I don't want to work with Naharim, please. I don't want to see him again.
You were friends once, were you not?
He said a lot of horrible things. He tried to kill me.
Yes,
I can't
he did.
change that I was born into money.
No,
it's not
you
my
can't.
fault.
But do you know what you can change, though?
It wasn't my fault, right? And he looks at everybody.
Do you know what you can change?
What?
You can change yourself.
I am. Look at all the books I read.
And
Look
so
how willing I am to do whatever you say. Whatever you
I am saying that, for better or worse, Naharim completed his 10 years of labors, did he not? He was forced to.
No, his father paid for someone else to complete it, like mine did. Didn't they? Didn't he? That's what anyone would have done. Their dad would have paid someone else to do it, right?
If that was the case, there would be no people to actually do the work.
Immigrants. People like the Cadron refugees, right? And he looks at you all.
No.
But then, who does the work?
The poor.
And then they
The people
become,
without.
Yeah, and then they become rich because we pay them. Right?
Do you know what the 10 years of labors are?
Yeah, it's hard work that nobody wants to do, but based on their merit, they're paid well, and then they can rise through society like that. Right?
Your ideas, the word pretty naive, aren't they?
Naive, aren't they?
I never.
You're
Look,
making fun of me.
I never had to deal with government. I never I never had to deal with government. I never had to deal with any sort of this decision making when people could live or people could die. I never had to deal with any of this. Okay, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. He suddenly yells. I broke my model. My webcam went flying when I slammed my desk. But again, he screeches, "This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing."
Robin will kind of like walk up to Deirdre, like in like real quiet tone. What if we just put someone else in charge? Like,
I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not.
What if we just made someone else to be in charge and we gave him like...
I'm not supposed to be doing anything.
Make him disappear, you know?
My dad gave me all the money. He just gave me money. I never had to do any work. I never had to learn. It's my dad's fault. I never had to do any of this. I never had to learn. I never had to do anything. He just paid for anything. How am I supposed to handle this?
Isn't he? He's just going on.
No, please. I'm not. I can change. I can get better. I want to. Just tell me. Tell me who I need to be. Tell me what I need to do. I'll do it. Please, Valentin. Valentin, please. Who do I need to be? What do I need to do? Valentin.
You need to learn to become a leader.
I'm trying. I read the books. I read all the books, but now I'm being told that they're wrong.
This is not things you can learn from books.
What do I do?
You learn by doing.
Okay.
And the first step in doing is that you need to face the consequences for things that are not your fault as well. You need to talk to Naharim.
He sniffles but nods.
And you need to confront him about what he did and why he did it.
And
you need to have a talk with him.
I'm not strong enough. I can't.
You have to be.
Why?
Because that's what a leader would do.
I don't want this.
They would know when they are not strong enough, and then they would rise and become stronger to meet that level.
Someone else should rise. I can't do this. I can't look at him. I can't do this.
Look, and like, by the way, I'm intentionally trying to keep this quiet. I'm not saying this loud enough that he should be able to hear. Unless he's intentionally trying to, like, listen. And plus, he could never understand me when I was speaking out loud anyway, so, like, he probably doesn't understand the fucking thing I'm saying now.
He didn't understand what you were saying before either. He's just blubbering on the floor right now.
Oh, we can't just find someone to replace him, you know? I don't think he's got it cut. I don't think he can do it. I mean, he can be... I don't think we could just leave someone else making all the decisions. We train someone else and he just makes... He's just a figurehead, you know? Someone just kind of like, he doesn't have any real power, he's just there to look pretty for the people. And then we give someone else that kind of runs all the decisions. Would they not be a bit easier?
Well, that's what Majida was telling us to do.
You know, I don't think that's a bad choice. I don't know if we've got the time, patience, or the resources to turn this into a leader. And she kind of points to the slobbering mess of, you know, him on the ground, begging for her help. I don't think I can make that into a leader.
Mason, would you like me to tell you a quick story?
Will it help?
I was like you once. I was a sniveling mess. I could never make any decision on my own. All I wanted to do was to play the hero. And so, my parents, they enabled me to do so. They allowed me to go on adventures. And, I truly did feel like a hero, as I fended off bandits and saved the innocent, and people would praise me in the taverns. And I was really happy. And then I found out that none of that was actually true. I had my parents had a bodyguard with me that would be doing all the work for me. Or in some cases, they would hire people to pretend to be in danger when they were actually not. And I realized at that point that for me to be a hero, I can't just pretend to be a hero. I would actually need to be a hero. And so I set off on my own. And now I'm here. If I can do it, then so can you.
But you could just do it, right? He says, looking up at you hopefully. You could just...
Do you want to be a sniveling mess?
No, I don't. You're right what you said before. I don't. I remember what you said when we disembarked from that ship a long time ago. I thought about it. God, it feels like it's been forever. And Valentin, roll me a persuasion. No advantage. No one else has really been helping on this. In fact, everyone seems just more like they'd like to be done with Phazon entirely. So you're on your own, unless you want to spend an inspiration.
I'll do that, sure, why not?
I like how fast Lloyd put down the refugees working at the bar, though.
You know how
I mean,
many they could be?
I still think that's a great idea, but like you
I
said,
think
we
the
don't know
issue
how
is
many.
like we're just trying to make all these decisions in a vacuum and just like let's just do things without actually examining what this is going to
1,000
do.
people to work at an inn. I'm sure that will go well.
Or
I
like
would
with
love-
Phazon right now, it's like there's nothing we can do for him in this room. He actually has to do things.
He's not going to do things without someone putting some trust into him.
I already tried that.
Yeah, and I'm trying it now.
You're the
Relax,
meaning
dude.
in his life. Spend that inspiration, says Donnie.
There.
You rolled with advantage.
Yes, because
Yeah,
I
he was
used my
supposed to use his inspiration.
And I'm adding, well, a 17.
Give me a moment. Your D8 made the difference. He pauses, and for a while the room is filled with naught but Phazon's pathetic whining and sniveling before he gets control of himself, and he looks at you, Valentin, and he says, "All right. Okay.
We will help you. You're not going to be alone. But you also need to help yourself."
He stands up, and he, with this, looks at the vest and the shirt he's wearing. It's the same outfit you saw him in on the sand skiff. He's just covered in dust, in blood, and he gives a wipe of his nose on the sleeve. And he looks at you, Valentin, and he says, "Let me get changed first. And then we'll go talk to Nahareen."
Very well.
Majida, prepare, oh gosh, I don't know what I should wear. Just get me something. The mercenary captain looks at you. Oh.
No. Phazon, you need to dress yourself.
Alright. Majida speaks up helpfully and says, "I will take you to the armory, Phazon, and we can pick you out something there." And she begins leading him away, and then quickly kind of heads back to you all and looks at you, in particular Valentin, and says, I'm thinking I'm going to start him off in some light ceremonial armor, unless you think medium or heavy would look more political.
He'll still need to be able to...
Is he strong enough to move in heavy?
No.
It's ceremonial. He'll be able to wear any sort. I
Either.
imagine he'll take training in whatever the ceremonial armor is eventually.
It'll do him good in order to also be physically able to help in case he needs to. If someone trips on the road, he can help them up. If someone needs help carrying something, he can help them carry something. He needs to learn how to become a normal person before he can start becoming a leader.
So the light armor then?
Yes.
Very good. We'll want to hook him up with a ceremonial weapon as well. Recommendations? You're all combatants, but I was thinking about setting him up with a spear. Simple, easy weapon of
The
people.
spear. It's truly is one of the most versatile weapons there are. You can use it from reach, so he doesn't need to be as scared when using it. And well, in mechanics-wise, it doesn't have reach, but theoretically, he can still stab someone from a bit further away without having to be in their face. So yes, I agree, a spear would be great.
And lastly, she turns to Lloyd, Serario, and Dee. And what of religion or magic?
What?
Religion or magic. If he hasn't undergone the studies into any of them, he'll be needing trainers. Meaning that the only people in this town capable of doing so would be one of the three of you. Do we train him more in religion? Do we train him more in magic? And which one of you will be the ones offering to teach him?
Oh, I don't want a henchman.
Oh no.
I don't want him as a henchman. Oh God, sorry.
And you guys may
think
be
it should be
deciding.
Lloyd.
You guys may be deciding on his class and abilities based on who's teaching him what he's learning and who. Currently, we have a
think
light
it should be
armored
Lloyd.
spearman. Gee, thank you so much for coming, Mr. French Venti. Can someone please also shout out Rhea now that I have a chance? For those of you who came in with Rhea, thank you guys so much for coming. If you don't know, I'm River the Bard. I do a bunch of D&D and other TTRPG content. Today, the party members have finally returned after a very long battle in the deserts and are training up their new foppish NPC who's going to be running their nearby town. So, Lloyd, Serario, and Dee. Donnie is losing his shit. He's so excited for this. But yes, currently we have that Phaeton's future is a light-armored spearman. Is he being trained in any religion or any magic? Or are you guys going to try to train him in tandem, and who's going to be doing it? You could also say none of you are, and he could just become an entirely martial kind of person.
Can you imagine if Serario was his teacher?
A model check,
no.
thank you so much.
Terrario
No
pulls out her
thanks.
butt flaps like, I got this.
No.
I mean,
No,
you
no,
cannot teach
Lloyd.
sorcery.
we gotta
Sorcery
do
is not
something about
teachable.
No, but she could give him a portion of her sorcery.
She puts her butt flaps back up. Mine.
God damn it.
I've given Serario as an option here. Serario is applicable as a trainer.
Also,
I mean,
Donnie,
this could be
you're the
she could.
meaning in my life. You're the inspiration.
He becomes magical by taking a long, hard whiff of her fart.
Oh God, no.
I was gonna say this
It's
might be a good
religious
opportunity for
Like
Sarah to
torture
try some
training.
serious roleplay.
Wow, are you
God.
saying that Sarah hasn't done that before? How
Sarah's
dare
been dead
you,
serious
Bob?
about all the butt stuff.
I'm sorry, so are we then... Lady Serario will be handling his training. Majida
Alright.
stares at her, an eyebrow raised.
I Lloyd.
Thank you so much for the raid,
Thanks,
Sith. We're in
buddy.
the middle of an RP scene, but I will get to your raid in a moment. Can one of my mods please shout out Sith?
I mean, we could also train him between the group. I may not be
I
the
think-
best
well, it's gonna-
for something like religion or magic, but I could teach him combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you
if
guys...
Lloyd and Sarah teach him magic,
Yep, and then Zandra, Valentin, all of you guys can teach him different things. Currently, though, this is kind of deciding his class, and so far I've got Light Armored Spearman. Now I don't know if it's a religious or magic focus.
Please let Sarah do it.
Or none.
I mean, if nobody else wants to do it, I can teach him how to suck the souls out of those who cares, if that's what you really...
we're not a very strongly
Mentally-
religious group, though, either.
I'm the most religious, and you're quasi-religious. I don't know if I can, in good
am
faith,
religion.
give this future leader of a civilization to Sarah to be trained, because that means that she'll indirectly have. I am scared.
Tell you
That's
what,
why I'm saying it's a chance for
it
her to
sounds
actually
like-
try to be serious.
It sounds like the chat are kind of struggling. It sounds like the players are struggling a little bit. Why don't I start a poll for chat? For chat.
I think it'd be absolutely hilarious. See, the king of this area, the leader of this area, fought to get his way.
Well, there are so many bad things that could come from this, because either he's going to be a farty dude, he's going to be a religious zealot, he's going to be a fucking.
I don't think there's any way he could become a religious zealot with either you or me
Edgelord.
teaching him religion.
What are you calling me an edgelord?
Yeah, I was thinking
Are you
about
sure about
Valentin,
that?
Lloyd,
He
and
read philosophy books and did exactly what they were preaching, like word for word.
Yeah, but the
You give
difference
him
is
a
I'm
Bible,
willing
it's
to
all over.
I don't have a Bible, and I'm willing to slap him, unlike the books.
Oh god.
Alright, the poll has begun. For the next 3 minutes, you guys can vote once, and then per 1,000 of points that you have on my channel, you can vote further on who should train Phazon. Your options are Sarah, nobody, Dee Dee, Lloyd, or another party member. Sarah immediately taking the lead, with Dee Dee in
You
second,
make this, but you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith.
tied right
Sarah, I
now.
don't
Dee
think
Dee
I'm,
and
like, making fun.
Oh,
God damn it. It's impossible to talk in this group.
Oh wait, sorry.
Sorry, Sly, there's just the current vote going on. Sarah currently at 8, Dee Dee at 8, Lloyd at 2, another party member. Sarah just jumped ahead to up 12.
Oh no.
14 for Sarah. Lloyd is shooting up in the rankings too. Lloyd is beating out Dee Dee now. Lloyd ending up with a job he doesn't want. Lloyd's at 22. Oh my god. Lloyd took the lead.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's doing this. He has
River,
these
it's
points.
because you and me are point voting.
Oh my god, Sarah had 89 points.
Sarah dumped 50k in herself. Holy shit.
Oh
Wait,
my
you
god.
dumped,
Oh
I
my
dumped all my
God.
points into Lloyd.
I jumped.
Oh my god.
Sarah's the chat's voting for Sarah and all the players are voting for Lloyd. Sarah's at 93, Lloyd's at 51, Dee Dee's at
I
9.
would like to propose some solid co-parenting. And it would still be magic focused, but it would be both Lloyd and Sarah,
That's
which
more
is just the
fully
funniest
agree.
fucking combination I could
Oh
possibly
my
think
Dude,
of.
the votes are
I
killing the
think-
Fugitex.
I mean, look. We're not going to let chat decide what we ultimately do with him. Here's what I think, though. I think
93
chaos-
points. Well, I gotta vote
Cat-
too.
the-
I'm gonna vote for Lloyd.
the chaos of Serrario, coupled with the discipline of Lloyd, would make a deadly combo in teaching him magic properly, and maybe might just knock enough screws loose in him that he actually gets fixed.
That's true. I like them. Again, I just am picturing Serrario literally taking this as a co-parenting role and sharing
Yes.
a child, quote
Yes.
unquote, with Lloyd.
Yes.
and
Yes.
raising him
Oh my god.
to be
Yeah.
the perfect
Voting for
wizard.
Sarah.
I
She's
love it.
already won. You can stop.
Oh, you know what? If we put enough votes into Lloyd as well, and we make them tie,
We've only got like
Lloyd's
2
climbing
seconds.
right now.
I don't have enough points for that.
Oh my
I
god.
had 200k points before the
I
Sarah
burned all my
won.
points.
I know.
In the end,
Oh my
with
god.
100 votes,
I had 16k.
with 100 votes, Sarah comes in first place. Chat thinks that they should train Phazin. 60 people voted for Lloyd, 9 for DD, 1 for someone else in the party. Nobody voted for anybody. Valentin contributed the most amount of channel points with 77,000 points spent.
What am I going to do with them? I don't support you any other way.
Wow.
1-1.
Yeah, I like the one.
Oh my
Make me
god.
bark, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, the votes might have been a little bit skewed. Democracy! You know, those of you watching the most. Hey guys, keep watching my streams. I run these votes pretty common. The last one was, should Bayleaf the Bard be executed by the party or not? And in the end, chat voted that he did get executed. But regardless, yeah, it was pretty ice cold. They finally caught like one of their biggest frenemies. And chat, they didn't know what to do with him. Chat decided that he should get executed, and so the party executed him. So,
Wow.
Majida says, so, the both of you together? She looks at the 2 white-haired members of the party. Oh, wait, Valentin, too. Sorry, you're in a Furby. I forgot that you were white-haired. She looks at
What? I'm
Lloyd
not
and
white-haired.
Sarah.
I'm just a really, really, really light blonde.
That's platinum, baby.
The both of you, then, will be taking up his studies.
Apparently.
Emphasis on parent.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why, it almost seems like you'll be parenting him, she says, jokingly, trying at least.
How does Sararia react to that statement? I must know immediately.
Turns around, like blushes a little bit.
A little toot.
Oh my god.
How does Lloyd react to that statement?
Hey, exactly like that. What did you
Lloyd is
think?
Oh
just
my god.
face
She
palming,
lets out a little
shaking his
blush
head.
fart.
He's
I mean, Lloyd, you
blood
just...
fart.
No, blush.
Uh,
Not blood. Blush. Blush.
Fart.
An embarrassed little toot. Blood fart. I guess in the blood sands anything is possible.
I was literally face palming, so I said blush, but you heard blood. So
Oh, I heard blood fart. I was like,
I
oh
had my
god.
hand in front of my.
Sararia,
Did anybody
this
give-
isn't even my final form.
I don't think any of my
Sararia
mods
has
are
new
around
weapons
right
to
now.
employ.
Lloyd, we're not telling you that you need to guide him through magic, but I do think it might do him good to have his focus on something that is also a mental training. Both, if he has to both work out physically and mentally, it will improve him in the end. If you don't want to help him with that, then perhaps Sarah can do it on her own. But
That is true.
I really think,
Sarario,
think
as he
you
gets
should
up, he kind of brushes himself off. He looks at you and he says, "Man, if all of my teachers when I was a kid were as hot as you were."
Sorry, looks at him and just says, I can't wait to fart on you.
Do you remember that this was the guy who dipped his finger in, who asked one of you guys to dip your finger?
Sararia wasn't there.
Oh yeah, Sararia wasn't there for that. Neither was Dee Dee. Dee Dee, this guy once asked a party member to dip their finger in his drink, so this way it would taste a little sweeter. He's incorrigible.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit, man.
Yeah. So, Lloyd, are you gonna really let Sarario be alone with him?
Oh, I think he'd have a great time with you.
I'm not.
Majida says, "All right."
he's so manipulative.
That was this dude. Yeah, Donnie.
No,
Majida
I
says,
meant you. You are.
"Thank you."
Oh.
Majida says, "All right. It looks like then I'll get him sorted out in gear appropriate for learning the spear, wearing light armor, and learning magic from both a wizard and a sorcerer. Anything further I should know about his equipment or training in the future?" I'll make sure
That
he
he-
shows up to wherever you want him.
Make sure that he takes care of it properly. Don't let it fall into disarray. Discipline him the same way you would any other member of your mercenary company.
Minus the whippings, right?
Unless he asks for it, can't stop that.
She looks disgusted as she looks at him, as he's kind of off in the distance, just kind of waiting for her to come up, and she says, ugh, he probably would, wouldn't he?
Well, you don't need to discipline him if you don't want to either. But
No,
either
we
way.
all have our jobs to do.
It's an awful job, but someone's gonna do it. Cracks whip.
Oh God. Better cracking whip than cracking wind when we have Serario in the party.
Gain an inspiration, Undyne.
Well, thank you.
What do you mean? I thought the cracking wings were the best part of our party. Oh, that should be your group name, Cracking
The
Wings.
cracking winds?
Oh
Absolutely
my
not.
god!
Oh my god, there they come! The Cracking Winds!
No.
The Wind Splitters!
No.
Anyway, let's go.
Alright.
Are we gonna have a break or something?
You guys want a short little break? Because otherwise I can take you right to Naharim. Break time? Going
it's
once.
fine if we keep on going as well.
Going twice. Anyone want a break? I've got
Break
no one.
time.
Break time. Break time. That's all I needed. All right, we're gonna take a 5-10 minute break, chat. Thank you guys so much for coming by. We were doing Honkai Impact. Sorry, not Honkai Star Rail earlier. It's an interesting gacha game. I'll probably play more of that in the future. We'll be right back. We're still running the fundraiser for my kitty cat. As a note, she's doing a lot better. We've got her surgery scheduled. Now it's just a matter of waiting for her to finish healing, as well as recovering all the money that we lost, just spending on her vet bills to get her good again. If you guys want to support, you can do so directly on my Ko-Fi right there. All right. If you want to check out anyone else in Blood on the Sand, please do so there. We'll be back in 5-10 minutes. See you all for now, guys. Bye! Did I say I was going on break? No, I never did. And if you... Hold on, Missy Step. Did I say that we were going on break? No, I never did. And if you heard me say that, you're wrong or a liar.
Wait,
Gaslight
did you
Gate-
unmute before saying that the first time?
No, I was on the wrong screen, and when I Misty Step, when I'm speaking, it goes bzzzt if I try talking through it. So, we're not going on break. In fact, we're going to be wrapping up because this sounds like a good end time. But, first, the party members, you all move through the streets of Nessus again. Majida, Phazin aren't quite there yet. You're
I was
taken-
hoping you were going to describe what he was wearing.
Not
see
quite
if he was,
yet.
wearing what it.
Yeah.
When he dresses himself.
I will eventually. For now, though, you have been given directions to a small little hovel. It used to be the county jail, so to speak. It is an awful awful sun-baked mud construction with only the impression of bars on its windows. And inside, in the only shaded corner that's not boiling hot, is Naharim, with Dustwalker sitting outside his cell. The dwarf looks up as you all approach. Ah, you're all here. I'm guessing then you've managed to convince Phazon to speak with Naharim?
No, yes.
See for yourself.
And what's to be done with him?
We don't know yet, actually. But I am hoping that Phazon, through... One second. Sorry. That Phazon, through talking with Naharim, gets some level of clarity and clairvoyance into why things have turned out the way they have. That will
Dustwalker
help
chews
him.
his lip as you speak.
Okay.
That may be difficult.
That's
Naharim
so.
has only spoken one time since he's been placed in here, and he begged me to send him to Brother Sand. When I refused, until we had Phazon's word, he hasn't said a word since. He only does what's needed to take care of himself physically to prolong his life, and has done nothing else, nor made any requests. Dustwalker gestures into the cell, and you guys can see Naharim sitting there currently on his, bed, which is a plank chained to the wall. And he's just sitting there staring at the bucket that's meant for him to, defecate in. I don't know what to do with it.
Neither does he, apparently.
I don't think
Wants
he knows
to
to do it himself.
Wants to go see Brother Sam, but he's not willing to do it on his own.
No.
So, for better or worse, they need to speak to each other.
Dustwalker does a really long yawn. I think you're right, he says. I think you've got the right of it. Well, we've got a little bit of time. If you want, I can open his cell. Y'all can talk to him before Phazon gets here, or you can wait for him. Which would you rather?
I think we wait for Phazon and we go from there.
Righto.
I would just like to see if he... Naharim, have you heard what we've been talking about?
I don't want to speak to Phazon. Just do whatever you're going to do with me.
Well,
We know he's going to sentence me to death. Let's just get it over with. It's what I deserve. I failed. My family's going to die in poverty.
Awfully chatty now, aren't you?
I know how often you'll just annoy people into speaking to you if they don't. I remember on the ship.
And you seemed very willing to answer for your crimes. You think death is going to do it?
My family's paying for my failure and my crimes, and I'm willing to answer for them as well. I've given up. You win. I think death will be the greatest atonement, so I can see what will become of my own family back in Thascalis.
So why haven't you done anything about it yet?
Because if I were to do it myself, that wouldn't be atoning, would it? It'd be depriving you of your, and he spits this word out, justice. Besides,
Is that
what's the difference between dying 3 days ago, dying yesterday, dying today, or dying tomorrow? It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
well? I disagree, but it's not me you should be talking about it with.
It's me, comes a voice from the door. You guys glance as Phazon has arrived. He's wearing a suit of leather armor over top of clothing easily meant for the desert. Airy, easy to breathe in. His leather armor is a set of bracers, very fine, breathable leather gloves, a nice vest that seems reinforced, that's open to show his chest, but also includes straps that he could quickly tighten to try to give himself a little bit more protection around the collarbone and the neck, a turban to keep his hair back, as well as the sun out of his face, and puffy pants meant for ease of movement. He's wearing simple thongs on his feet. On his back, hooked into a leather strap, is a spear with a wide horizontal point in it to keep it in the strap. And on the other side of his hip appears to be a brand new empty spellbook.
Oh boy.
He does very much look like, you know, a little boy dressing up in mommy's high heels and dress. It doesn't hang well off of him with his very soft face and soft hands. He looks just incredibly soft, dressed in a warrior's regalia and outfit. And as he's coming into the door, the spear clanks on the top of the door frame, and he has to kind of, like, shuffle his way through the door to be able to get in. Clearly uncomfortable with wearing it. There's a lot of clattering and rattling before he makes it in front of Naharim's cell. With all of you in the background, Phazon looks down into the cell at the seated Naharim, who looks up, staring at his once best friend. And I believe that we will end it here for the evening. Does that sound good, players?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Hooray.
Excellent! Thank you guys so much for coming out. We did end a little bit early, and we started a little bit late, so next week I would like us all to be raring and ready to go with the rest of this plot line. Thank you guys so much for coming out, chat. Thank you so much for cheering them on, and the huge votes for Sarah involving this. We're going to raid another great content creator this evening, and that is gonna be, I'm just trying to decide on who. Okay, I know who. So we're gonna go out. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Remember, check me out tomorrow, where we'll be doing more Final Fantasy XIV as we finally clear P5S, maybe some more Honkai Star Rail as well. Who knows? Thank you guys for coming. Have an excellent evening. We'll see you next time at the Roughworks Tavern. Bye.
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 Bye.